What is going on Facebook? Joe tries to go live yet again. This has been a crazy, frustrating thing happening here, trying to figure out why Facebook Live was not working. And finally, we have a video happening. What is going on, Philippe? How's it going, man? Good to see you tune in. Hey, Denise, what is happening? I've been trying to get this darn live working. Monica, what is going on? How you guys doing? Bill Young, how's it going, brother? Good to see you hopping on here. I tried to launch this darn video 2 times, and despite me seeing a camera, or my pretty face on this side, it was just totally dead on Facebook. So I don't know what was going on there, but we got it working now, and we're doing our thing. Yes, thank you, Denise. It is working finally. So as folks are hopping in, I'm going to talk about this subject today, 5 signs you won't be wealthy. So these are like red flags, and I may step on some toes today. Know that anything I say in love, because I want all my friends to be on the path to wealth and working towards success in life. And so I'm only sharing these things because in studying the habits of wealthy people and studying successful people, they all exhibit similar behaviors, and just the same, broke people also exhibit the same behaviors. And so I wrote down actually a list of 10 things, and after looking at the list, I said, in my mind, I was like, I really want to narrow this down to the most powerful stuff that I can think of to share, and I'm going to share that in 5 steps or 5 points today. So 5 points, 5 things that are signs that you won't be wealthy. And I have a wonderful, cool software that allows me to put bullet points on the screen and all that sort of thing. Well, that was part of what wasn't working. So I've got to just say them for you, and I'm going to type them up, and I'm going to pin that comment as I say it. So bear with me. This is point number 1 here, and I'm going to type it, and I will pin it, and then we're going to discuss it. All right, so point number 1, pinned at the top right now. Point number 1, this is a sign that you won't be wealthy. First, number 1 step, you don't like wealthy people. It's amazing to me, and a lot of this is politically driven as of late. This is definitely not meant to be any kind of political conversation for or against President Trump. But I tell you what, I have never heard more people hating on people for being wealthy than just in the recent year because of the election. But just in general, that people complain about rich people a lot. I mean, it's amazing to me. And, I've had this discussion, and again, this is not meant to be a political discussion. I'm not coming at this from a political angle. But in talking about taxes, and people say things like, the rich need to pay their fair share. For me, I don't see how any percentage that's not equal is anything other than discriminatory, right? A progressive tax system by nature to me is discrimination. The idea that because someone has earned a certain amount of wealth in their life translates to they should pay more than somebody else just blows my mind. I'm all about equality in all ways. I think we should be equal, treated equally, etc. And so, that's just my take. Again, I don't mean this to be a political thing, not saying it to be political. I'm just saying it as one sign, one symptom that you might not be on the path to wealth. If you are hating on wealthy people in your life, you're not going to be wealthy. I'm just telling you now. I don't mean to step on toes, but I do mean to step on toes. If you are hating on wealthy people, you are very likely not going to be wealthy, because I promise you, in your inner psyche, in your subconscious, if you are hating on wealthy people, you are telling your mind that you don't want to be a wealthy person. So if you're hating on wealthy people, stop it. Stop it right now. It's a terrible behavior. Get over it. Let people succeed and be happy about it. When you see people that are earning lots of money and being wealthy, they're driving the nice car, you know, you're like, if I had that money, I wouldn't spend, I wouldn't blow it on this, I wouldn't do that, I'd be charitable, I'd do, get over all that stuff. Just focus on you being wealthy and being happy that other people have succeeded in life and have gotten to where they're going. Because I promise you, any degree that you have in your mind that you look at somebody else and their success and you dislike them for that is a message to your subconscious telling your brain that you do not want to be wealthy. It's self-destruction. Get over that one. All right, number 2, moving right along. This is one of my favorite. And I've got to talk and type at the same time. Here we go, number 2. Bam, pin the comment. Where's it at? There we go. It's at the top now. Number 2 sign that you will not be wealthy. You don't spend enough time learning. Folks, let me tell you, this is a big one. There's a real simple test. And this is just one place to look. Go to YouTube and look at your history. Is the last 10 videos all entertainment, or is there some education in there? Right? How do you currently spend your time? Everybody sacrifices in life. Everybody sacrifices. You will either sacrifice early or you will sacrifice late, but you will sacrifice, I promise you. My goal in life is to sacrifice early so that I don't have to sacrifice late. So right now, examine how you spend your time. Are you spending your time being entertained, or are you spending your time being educated, right? If you are not yet where you want to be economically, then you really probably should be studying, should be paying attention to the people who have achieved what you have want to achieve. Paying attention to people that have achieved what you want to achieve. That's where your attention should be focused. If you're tuning in to all the latest Fuzzy Cat videos and you name it, that stuff will definitely make you chuckle and definitely will keep you entertained. But there's a reason why Hollywood makes so much money, is because entertaining people makes them money, not you money. All right. So the average American tunes out for 5 hours every day, average 5 hours every day to watch TV. If you want to be average, tune in for 5 hours every day to TV. If you want to be wealthy, you will start educating yourself. You'll listen to books. You'll study people who are doing and achieving what you want to achieve. So number 2, you don't spend enough time learning. Now this next one is going to be probably a little contentious for some folks. And it's so hard to type a different sentence and talk at the same time. But here we go. Number 3. And number 3 is out there. Pin it. Going to the top. All right, at the top of the feed. Now this one is interesting. Listen to me when I say this one, folks. The number 3 sign that you will not be wealthy. You worry too much and too little about what people think about you. Now that takes a little explaining. What do I mean by that? Let's get the first part in there. You worry too much about what every schmo around you in your life thinks about. Ooh, why is she always hating on me? She's always posting negative comments on my feed. I look funny in this the outfit. So and so is looking at me funny in this outfit. They don't like this. They don't like that about me. Who cares? As the saying goes and has been made famous as of late that I like, haters gonna hate, right? Who cares what people think about you and your life and what you're up to and everything else? I have noticed the more that you succeed in life, the more the naysayers will come out. If you aren't really on the path to success, I guarantee you nobody is talking smack or nobody cares. It's really when you start pushing to move beyond where the average schmo is, that the average schmo now feels compelled to bring you back down to their level. That's the way it works. And this is actually really old. It's called herd mentality, right? Because that was what was safest. I promise you, when you start trying to step out to succeed, all the people who have not succeeded will start going, oh, that's risky behavior. Because in order to be a success, in order to be an entrepreneur, you've got to take risk. You've got to learn to become risk tolerant. You've got to learn to get uncomfortable with where you're at and step out beyond where the average schmo is, right? And so what happens is, in herd mentality, the herd says that's dangerous behavior. If you step outside of the herd, the lion might eat you, right? But the lion isn't worried about stepping outside of the herd because the lion's in charge, right? The lion is doing his lion thing, right? It's the herd that gets worried about that behavior. So that's the first part of this statement. You worry too much about what people, the average schmo, is thinking about you. But now, in return, you worry too little about what the right people are thinking and saying. Who are the right people? The coaches, the mentors, the people who are challenging you and making you feel uncomfortable. But as soon as they say, hey, this behavior is a behavior that's not successful, you need to fix that, that you just want to, bow up and disagree, and who are you to tell me what to do? Well, if they have achieved what you want to achieve in life, then listen, right? And sometimes you don't have the opportunity to be a mentor. But now we go back to step 3 there, which was step 2, which was not spending enough time learning. You're listening to that coach and they're stepping on your toes. But for whatever reason, we disregard those people. I got like Frank Sinatra. I got to do it my way. I have a saying. I'm perfectly content being a millionaire the same way everybody else did it, right? I do not have to be original. I am perfectly happy being a millionaire the way everybody else became a millionaire. Right? So one of the biggest secrets to doing that is being an entrepreneur. You won't get rich. Very rarely will you get rich working for somebody else. I strongly encourage entrepreneurship. There's nothing wrong with being an employee. It's a wonderful thing, and we all need great employees. So this isn't a knock against employees. I'm talking about if you want to be wealthy. So there's definitely behaviors that you need to strive for if you want to be wealthy. And one of those behaviors is paying attention to what the right people have to say, but disregarding what the wrong people have to say. And it's real simple. Listen to and pay attention to the advice of people who are and have accomplished what you want to achieve, right? So that's number 3. Moving along to number 4, all right? This is a fun one. Oh boy, this is a fun one. Here we go. Bam, and pin it. Number 4. Number 4 behavior, number 4 sign that you will not be wealthy. You are an expert at making excuses. Oy vey, this is one that gets me riled up. I tell you what, it's amazing. It's amazing what people will excuse in themselves. At the end of the day, I accept responsibility for everything in your life. Own it. Own it. And that's a difficult one. It touches all sorts of parts of the life and that sort of thing. But mainly, I want to drive home the idea of accepting responsibility for your actions. I will tell you, I deal with people on the daily that tell me that they're going to do something. This is daily occurrence. I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you in 10 minutes. I'll give you a call later today. You name it, right? And they don't follow through. They don't do what they say. And that is a self-destructive mechanism. You are telling yourself, every time you tell somebody you're going to do something and you don't do it, even simple things. I'm talking little things. In fact, it's the little ones that are the most sneaky and the most destructive, because what's happening is you are telling your subconscious mind that you're a person that cannot be trusted and you're not responsible. And let me tell you, wealthy people don't operate that way. It's not a behavior of success. Follow through on what you say, and I promise you that's going to be a step towards being wealthy. When you make excuses, right, for the behaviors that make excuses for failures, make excuses for not following through, all that stuff, that's all behaviors that are leading you down the path of brokenness, right? If you say somebody, you're going to call somebody, call them. If you say you're going to show up somewhere, show up. If you're going to say you're going to show up at a certain time, show up at a certain time, etc. Own your word. Let your word be your word. In fact, there's an ancient text that says, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. It drives me crazy. And I tell you what, I've seen it. I've seen the behavior rampant. For me, this is like one of my sore spots. Little lies, I call them, little lies. Just that people don't do what they say they're going to do. If you want to be wealthy, that's the precursor here. If you want to be wealthy, be a person of your word, accept responsibility for your actions, and stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. Anytime you find yourself in the mode of making an excuse, stop it. Own it and say, I'm going to fix it. Do better. Do better. Lisa said, when you don't keep your word, you lose value and credibility. Yeah, you know what, Lisa, you're 1,000% correct in that. And I will tell you, you don't realize it's the butterfly effect. You don't realize all of the little bitty moments. I mean, I've in my own mind, I've discussed it in my office. I'm like, that person doesn't know that I will never do business with them. Right? Over such a simple little thing. I'm like, you've conveyed to me that you're not a responsible, trustworthy person. And it may be subtle, it may be simple. I'm like, you know what? Now I've written that person off. I'm not going to include them in, a person that I'll refer business to, right? If you can't return phone calls when you say that you're going to return phone calls, if you can't, like you're in the middle of a text conversation and you just disappear, you're gone, like you don't respond for 3 or 4 days, trying to get a hold of you, that's right, you just flake out, I'm just not going to refer business to you. I may not tell that to you. I may not voice it. I just won't do it anymore. I just won't trust you with referrals, right? And so it's those little things where you never know all the times that business just disappeared and went away. Success is avoiding you because you don't follow through on what you say you're going to do. You make excuses for the behavior. Right? Oh, I got busy this, I got busy that, whatever. I know I told you I was going to be there at 4, but something came up and I couldn't make it, and I didn't call you, I didn't text or whatever. I know we had it on the calendar, but I know I kind of flaked, but I had important stuff going on and I just couldn't do it. Again, making excuses. Wealthy people don't do that. Wealthy people will honor their word and they'll follow through on what they told you they're going to do. Take it to the bank like they're taking their wealth to the bank. All right. And now the last thing. Well, I might step on some toes on this one. Number 5. I have to put the number 5 here. Ba-bam. Number 5, pin it to the top. All right. It's at the top of the feed right now. Your attitude sucks. Whew. I tell you what, man, people don't like negativity in their life. And there's an old saying, birds of a feather flock together. Man, if you were a complainer, if you find yourself in a mode of complaint all the time, there's an old hymnal song, man. I grew up in this little bitty Baptist church. And I mean, they were like old school. They sang out of the Heavenly Highway, and had the gal on organ doing her thing. But it was a song called Count Your Blessings, Name Them One by One. I don't even know if that was the name of the song, but that was the line, the chorus. Count your blessings, name them one by one. I tell you what happens. Having an attitude of gratitude determines your latitude. There's a saying for you, right? If you wake up and think about all of the things that you have to be blessed, first of all, you live in America. That alone is reason to just be off the charts, crazy happy, because you live in a land of freedom and a land of opportunity. You live in a land where people, were broke and at, 65, 67 years old became multi-millionaires. Like what's his name, Colonel Sanders. He was in his 60s when he, hit it big with the KFC thing. You have so much to be happy about. If you woke up this morning, first of all, that's a blessing, all right? You're still on this side of the dirt. You have an opportunity to change where you're at. If you woke up healthy, you've already put yourself in a position that is, or you have not, whether you have put yourself in that position or not, may not be the case, but if you're healthy, you are already far more blessed than a ton of people. I have very close friends who have massive health issues that would just die, to just be so happy to be just healthy. Nothing else, just healthy. If you have your health, you have every reason to be celebrating, shouting, etc. Right? If you have a single friend in the world, you should be shouting from the rooftops. You have a blessed life. If you have a spouse that loves you, if you have kids that love you, blessings. I can go on and on and on and on. There is so much to be thankful for and happy about that you really have no business roaming around pissing and moaning about how bad life is and how bad your situation is. I promise you, people that are on their way to wealth and people that are wealthy do not roam around in this attitude of defeat and this attitude of negativity and that sort of thing. So if that's where you're at, man, cut it out, kill it, stomp on it, light a match to it, pour some gas on it, burn it up. Become a person of positivity. Become a person that people want to be around, right? Because success attracts success. And I promise you, if you're in that negative mode, successful people, I got, business is tough. Life is hard. I don't need any more negativity in my life than already just naturally comes at me in day-to-day living. And so I will just, as a matter of principle, I just kind of push that out of my life. I just don't hang out with people that are negative. I don't hang out with people that are like not really focused on success, moving forward, learning, growing, etc. And so chances are, if you're pissing and moaning about where you're at in life, we probably don't spend a lot of time together. And that's not just me. I'm not saying like I'm all that to hang out with, but people that are success-minded and success-driven, just generally, speaking, don't waste their time with people that are negative. That's just the way it is. And so those are 5 things. I'm going to go back over them, fly through them. I love your comments. I appreciate it. Latoya, thank you for saying I hit it out of the park. Always trying to bring some value. Lisa, you said, even on my worst day, I'm killing. Attitude is everything. Burn some sage. Yeah, I love sage. Who doesn't like? That's a great smell. And Judith said, amen to health. Right on, right. Let's see what some of these comments are. When you don't keep your word, you lose credibility. Yeah, I saw that one. Wealthy people do not act that way. So true. Yep. Good comment. I think those wine bottles on the windowsill are cool, but I know you don't care what I think. Denise, yeah, you know what? I've saved. I actually have. They go all the way across my shelf. The wine bottles that I've gotten from around the world that I've really enjoyed. I've kept them just to talk about them because they make fun talking points. So anyway, number 1, you don't like rich people. If you're hating on rich people for being rich, kill that one. That's terrible. Got to get over that. Number 2, you don't spend enough time learning. You definitely need to engage with material and people that are where you want to be and talk about where you want to be. Engage that stuff and turn off the TV. Quit watching the cat videos. Don't get me wrong. It's good to unplug for a minute and give your mind a break and that sort of thing. Just don't make it your norm. Just don't make it your norm. And really, 50%. I mean, if 50% of your reading material, 50% of your television time, if 50% of your spare time is not spent on improving, you got to check yourself on that one. Number 3, you worry too much about what the wrong people think of you, and you worry too little about what the right people think of you. Find the coaches, the mentors, the people that inspire you, and pay attention to what they think, and all the rest, the haters, let them hate. Who cares? They can just go on their way. I don't even care. All right. Number 4, you are an expert at making excuses. Stop with the excuses. Stop with the excuses. Lordy, if you find yourself in a place of that, yeah, but, or I was going to do it, but, no, nix it. Own the mistake. Own your responsibility in it and improve. Stop with the excuses. And then finally, your attitude sucks. Number 5, work on positivity. And you know what? It's not just spoken, and it's not just out here. It's not just your facial expressions. You know what? It's corny, but it's been proven. Science. It has been proven. A physical smile leads to a mental smile. If you, actually are in a bad mood, whatever else, try it sometime. Just go to a mirror, smile in the mirror. And even worse than this, is even cornier than this, just laugh. Just start laughing like crazy, like a fool. Let people in the restroom think you're a nut. Who cares, right? That's number 3 there. You worry about what the wrong people say. Who cares what they think, right? Try it. Try laughing and seeing if it doesn't improve your mental attitude. A physical smile leads to a mental smile, right? So it's not just verbal. It's not just physical, right? It's mental. Your mental voice. Pay attention to what your mental voice is saying, because we tear ourselves down a lot in our mind. It's so easy to just get into that place of fear, anxiety, negative self-speak, all this kind of stuff. I'm going to fail at this. I'm just not good enough for this. Whatever. You got to change that. And if it means even writing it down so that you can express it, that you do deserve it. You do deserve wealth. You do deserve success. You do deserve getting to that place so that you can be a blessing to other people around you and a blessing to other people in your life. I've been poor, I've been wealthy, and neither of those make me happy, but being wealthy definitely sucks less than being poor. So, right? So just work on the mental attitude of having a positive attitude. Those are the 5 things. If you've got those 5 signs happening in your life, don't like rich people, don't spend enough time learning, you worry about what haters think of you, don't worry enough about what your coaches think. If you're an expert at making excuses, if your attitude sucks, chances are you are not on your path to wealth. So there we go, guys. I wanted to share those thoughts with you today. I've got to get back to work. I've got to get back to knocking it out and being successful. Got a show tonight at 7 p.m., the artist edition of the Wine No Wine Show. Tune in for that. They're always a lot of fun, and we're going to enjoy some wine, some good music, and some good discussion on the Wine No Wine Show. And as always, if you need some guidance in building long-term wealth, if you need some guidance in entrepreneurship, reach out to me. Either here on Facebook, or you can go to my website, joeorsak.com. I'm glad to take care of you. I'll see you later, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Love y'all. Thanks for being in my life.